Hey, good morning, everyone. Pastor Chris here. Welcome to Poolside Chat. Question came up. I had talked last week about the hypostatic union of Christ. And I mentioned this in passing, but I got some questions about this. What is it? How do we get it? What do I mean that other people debated about who God was, who Jesus was? This was a huge debate. And I want to expand on this and hopefully explain it a little bit to you. Sliding down on my seat. So when Jesus was born, he was born and raised in Nazareth in Galilee, a small town. He just would have been a small town kid. Now, the Jews were promised the coming Messiah. Messiah was coming. He was going to set the world right. Everyone had the understanding, the belief that he would come as a conquering king. He was going to throw Rome out. Israel was going to once again go back to their glory days. They were going to have all the land that was promised to Abraham. And they experienced this. After the Maccabean revolt, they had a short time of self-rule and peace. So they got a taste of what freedom was like, if you will. They knew Messiah was coming, and here comes Jesus. He doesn't come as a conquering king. He doesn't descend out of the clouds in a chariot of fire. He's born as a little baby. Now he's raised in Nazareth. He plays with his friends. He works the trade of his father Joseph, the family trade. He becomes a carpenter. He goes to the dinners. He goes to the festivals. He goes to synagogue. People knew him as a baby. They probably babysat him. He was a regular kid. He was a regular guy. I mean, you look at your friend, who you play with, who you know, who you grew up with. This was Jesus. This was God. Because it's important to remember that his ministry didn't start until he was 30 years old. He was an adult. And an example of what I mean by this is he comes back into his hometown. In Luke chapter 4. Luke chapter 4, it says, return to Nazareth. And there's a verse. He goes into the synagogue. He reads from Isaiah. The people get very offended for a number of reasons. But in verse 22 it says, all spoke well of him and were amazed at gracious words that came from his lips. Isn't this Joseph's son, they asked. They knew him. He grew up with them. This wasn't God. This wasn't the Messiah. This was Jesus, Joseph's son. They knew his sisters. It's this guy's delusional, what they would have thought. And Jesus said, no prophet is accepted in his hometown. So he goes back to Nazareth. They know him as Jesus, Joseph's son, the carpenter who grew up with people. And he comes back and he says, I'm the Messiah. They thought he was nuts, and nobody believed him. The other important thing to know is that at this time, Greek philosophy, Greek thought was extremely prevalent within this area of the Roman Empire. Ruled by Rome, but the Greek influence, they spoke Koine Greek. That was the common language of the day. That was the language of the trades. It wasn't Latin. And the philosophy of Greek, you think of Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, Socrates in particular, influenced life. And many people thought that physical was bad, evil, corrupt. The pure, what we aspired to was the spiritual, the heavenly. That was the only thing that was good. So Messiah, Jesus, human flesh, physical. Now he's crucified, dead, buried, resurrected, appears to many, and is ascended to the right hand of God. Many come to believe in Jesus. This truly was the Messiah. But how do they make sense of this? He came as a baby, known amongst his people in Nazareth as the carpenter's son. Greek philosophy, he's a physical form. How can this be God? And that's where this debate came up. Spiritual is good, physical and bad. So, who was Jesus? He was God wrapped up in a physical wrapper. He was half God, half man. He was an apparition of the physical. Some evidence to this is written in John, the Transfiguration, where he reveals himself as he truly is, the glorious God that he is. And they had to make sense of this. Who do you say Jesus is? Well, what we have come to accept, and this is man's explanation, finite man's explanation of an infinite God. We call it the hypostatic union. 100% fully God and 100% fully man. Both simultaneously together. Cannot separate the two. Jesus didn't become God when he was born. He was God always. We see this on the plains of Mamre when he appears to Abraham to save Lot, Sodom and Gomorrah. It's called the pre-incarnate appearances of Christ. Jesus always was, always is, and always will be God. But when he came to earth as man, he became God-man, is what we say. Don't know any better way to put it, but what we describe it as and explain it as is the hypostatic union of Christ. 100% fully man, 100% fully God. Had all the experiences, life experiences, pains that men have. That's why I say he moved into our neighborhood, including death, including birth. But he never gave up being God. So I hope this explains it. I'm going to leave you the question though. Something when I learned about this, studying this, what I always wondered, Jesus was a carpenter, right? He had to hit himself with his thumb with a hammer. That hurts like the devil. I mean, what did he say? Ow, me? No answer, but it makes you wonder, doesn't it? All right, guys, keep the questions coming. This was good. I hope this explains it. If not, let me know, and I'll do the answer what I can. Otherwise, have a great weekend. Remember, tomorrow's Sunday, so go to church. And today is a beautiful Saturday. We're going to get some rain here. That's okay. Inside Day with movies. I'm Pastor Chris. Be sure to ask, let me know, give me your thoughts, questions. Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, at FL Compass Church, and now Instagram, at FL Compass Church. Be blessed, and we'll see you Wednesday.